everyone, Egman here with another video. And today we've got Claudio with his first place, undefeated, blue Omni Turbo deck that he played in Top Cut's event this Saturday, which I think is the largest Digimon event we've had in the TCG. So really exciting.
Yeah, man, that was a long event.
Super long, 8 rounds. And at the end, you're the only one on top. So definitely kudos for you for not only like playing 8 rounds already is like a feat in itself, but not dropping a match that entire time is super crazy.
Yeah, believe it or not, it didn't hit me until like maybe rounds 5, 6 that I was probably going to go undefeated in this. It was outrageous.
Yeah, because going to round 6, you're like, okay, guaranteed top 16, and then the next one like, all right, guaranteed top 4, and then boom, all right, first or second, here we go. But yeah, really exciting. So you decided to run Blue Omni, and what was the inspiration around this? This is kind of like a known archetype, but what made you choose it? Instead of anything else.
So Metal Garurumon is my favorite Digimon from the show. So from the get-go, I was like, whatever guy this guy is in, I'm playing. And so happens that it's the top deck in the games. So
yeah.
No brainer.
Definitely, yeah. I'm a very similar sense. I played a probably more mid-range version of this deck, but yeah, I love Metal Garurumon, and just like the card itself is really cool too. Just being able to like gain card advantage by playing cards underneath, it's just a really cool kind of thing, and I really dug it. So, but yeah, I think it's a really cool card, and just this deck type in general is very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, this deck is really explosive. It can go from tall to wide real quick. And the opponent needs to catch on to that. If not, they're going to be in for a rough game.
Definitely. And it kind of has like this thing where you can thrive with either a lot of memory or a little memory. Because, and so if you guys don't know how kind of Omni Turbo works real quick, the idea of it is just to go into your Omnimon as soon as possible. And you're able to do that with a couple things. One, you have a bunch of cheap Digivolves, so you've got like Gorillumon for only 1, and then you also have like the Big Bear for 2, and then also into even Plesiomon for only 2 energy or 2 memory is really nice. So just being able to go into that chain and not let your opponent interact when you're doing so can kind of be explosive, especially since Omnimon not only gets rid of cards, but it makes it hard for your opponent to get rid of him himself. The only thing that gets rid of Omnimon is like another Omnimon, right? So it's kind of funny how that really works out, and yeah, it's very powerful, and the idea if your Omnimon sticks, you're able just to win the game by the value from that itself. Or otherwise you have a couple of other backup plans and ways to kind of circumvent. If your opponent removed your Omnimon, it's probably because they dipped a lot of resources into it, and then you can just kind of outvalue them from there.
Yeah, so like if you make your Omnimon and your opponent wants to get rid of it, most of the time they're going to waste a lot of memory. So when they give it right back to you, you're going to just make another one, or just make them pay by going into a different, maybe the Metal Garurumon play,
Yes, for sure. So yeah, let's quickly look through the cards. So first, I guess, for your egg deck, you chose 4 Upamon and 4 Waynermon. Have you ever thought of just running 4 Upamon by itself, or what's your thought process there?
Well, for some reason, I feel like the 5 eggs are kind of mandatory in the deck. I know I was watching your deck profile and you were just playing 4 Upamon. The Upamon is the best one right now for blue because
Definitely.
you want to get that draw, but in some cases, if you hit this Wanyamon, that extra 2k DP comes in handy sometimes. You can make your 6k Gorillamon, which would equal to most blockers, turn into an 8k. So your opponent really wouldn't want to block.
So, and I can see that too, especially like for my deck profile, I've got the 6k Wargurumon that has like dual attack. So if it became an 8k, that'd be a lot more impactful because I wouldn't be afraid of blockers when I swung with it. So I do get that point for it, and I can see it being. I don't think it's a dead card either. Like it's still a good Digi-Egg and everything. But I wondered if part of the reason I only run 4 is because I don't expect to have 5 turns worth of of Digivolving and stuff from the eggs. So I wasn't sure if you did you ever get like your egg area empty with this deck at all?
Never.
Yeah.
These games are pretty quick.
Yeah, super agree that it can be this can be really explosive in a lot of ways. So moving on, so you're running 14 rookies, which I think is like close to, like I'd say I wouldn't run any less than 12 rookies But how many times, like, was that a consistent number for you, thought, or would you add more, or what was your experience with it?
So I felt the number was spot on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just shout out True Champion Steven because this is basically his creation in a
Sure.
sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like not anybody can just pick up a tier 1 deck and just auto win.
Sure.
There's
Yeah. Even though the list is known, it doesn't mean you still have to pilot it correctly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna like this is his deck. He has his explanations on it, but from my view, the ratio count was spot on. But there were some games where I like opened up just the big drops in some instances, and it really isn't that bad to just open up big drops because I would just immediately go into a 5 and then just turbo into an Omni in a sense still. But yeah, these rookies were really good. Most of the time I like to hold on to my Gobblemon unless I saw the chain in my hand. So if I saw the chain, I would Digivolve my egg into the Gobblemon. So then I can go into the Garurumon, into the Metal Garurumon, all that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, the number 1 Digimon I would love to evolve onto was Goemon to gain 1 memory. Because I just feel like having the inheritance stack up is really good. The 2 costs, the Elecmon and the other Goemon, were there mostly just to choke my opponent. So like when they put you to 1, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna put a free body and put you to 1, and go like that.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, because Goemon's really good, especially because you can put him behind a blocker like Grizzlymon, and then you can kind of force your opponent into like some weird situations where you can end their turn by using your blocker, which is really neat.
Yeah, so most of the time that's really good because most of your opponents don't really. Sometimes they forget Goemon's under, so like they'll destroy like your big guy and they're at 0 or something.
Yes, exactly.
Automatically, yeah, it switches turn.
Yeah, it's definitely a good kind of sneak thing too for that kind of stuff. All right, cool. Yeah, I think 14 is a good number for it. And moving on to your level 4s, we've got 4 Grizzlymon, 4 Gorillamon, and then 3 Garurumon. Gorillamon just for that 1 memory cost to do the Digivolution, excuse me, and then Garurumon is kind of good for 2 reasons, right? If you already have him underneath him and you have Metal Garurumon, you get 2 swings, which is insane. And then additionally, if your opponent just gives you a lot of memory, you can just hard cast it for 6, which is really good against like a Puppetmon. Like that's like a really good Puppetmon counter.
That actually came up. I had an Omnimon on board, and my opponent Puppetmon, he was at 4 security, and that Puppetmon was gonna save him the game. I looked in my hand, and I'd never done this play before. This like literally this week. Well, that day was literally the first time I played with the deck. Like round 1, first game, that was the first time I ever played with it.
Dang.
Yeah, I never got to play test or anything. I just went right to it, picked up the deck.
Crazy. So, and for the record, you play other TCGs, right? And we know each other from Dragon Ball Super, which we both play too. So it's definitely you have that card game mentality around you.
Yeah.
But still, that's very impressive. Just to say, just a friend say, here, run this and you'll win, and you did.
Well, I mean, I studied the game. Like, so this is how it happened. When I heard the Japan version came out, I was excited, but I didn't want to invest in the Japan version because if they come away English version, the cards aren't going to be good. So I literally just stayed away from watching it or just doing anything. Then I heard the release came out like on Black Friday, I guess, and I didn't know it came out.
Yeah.
So as soon as I heard it came out, I immediately went to go look for these cards, and then I just started watching True Champion Steven's videos, and I downloaded the app on my phone, and that's basically how I learned the game.
Yeah, the app is really, really good. If you guys, if you've gotten this far in the video and you haven't tried the app, definitely do it. If you want to get your friends into the game, just download the app on their phone when they're not looking, and then make sure they try it out because it's really good. And even just for like an app, like it's well like organized, and the UI is really nice too. So I really did enjoy it.
I really love the app because literally that's how I learned the game. The app, nothing else showed me, but the app gives you 3 decks to play with: yellow, blue, and red, and they're all really good to learn with.
Definitely.
So I guess getting back to this Garurumon, so the Puppetmon happened, and I just looked at my hand and I read it, and I was like, on play it, unsuspend 1. I was like, oh, okay. So I hard summoned it, brought back the Omnimon, swung for 4, so I got into 0, and I luckily just had promoted with my egg, so that got me the win. Yeah,
so you had Omnimon with still probably a 6-drop underneath it, so you can do the untap, and then probably a Wergurumon out
Yeah,
that
so that's not
proc because
before
of their
you have.
Puppetmon.
Yeah, and Rookie Rush, nothing's gonna kill the Omnimon, so you're
Yep.
going in.
Yeah, there's no fear for that. Well, yeah, definitely a very very strong card, very versatile, and yeah, I like that card a lot. It is one of my favorite cards just because of that versatility. And 6 memory can be a lot, but it's really good for getting unexpected wins when your opponent kind of goes deep with their solution cards.
For sure, for sure. This Grizzlymon, I don't know how it came up for you, but for me, I played a ton of mirror matches that day. I played like
Mm-hmm.
5 blue matchups, and I
Yeah.
feel like this card was very pivotal for that matchup in a sense
Yeah.
to keep your opponent in check.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely. And the nice thing about Grizzlymon too is that if you can still go up your Digi chain, and as long as you go to a Metagarurumon, you can just
Yeah,
play
you
him
get
again
a
from it. So
blocker.
like you get a free blocker for swinging, is very powerful.
Correct. And then the Gorillamon, for like basically when you start the game, you go into your rookie, and then
Hmm.
for Gorillamon, you're already choking your opponent to 1, which is
Hmm.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
exactly. So cool.
it's good.
I think those are pretty standard. And then we go into our 5 drops. So we got 4 of the Monzemon, and then I always call him the bear because I can never say his name. And then 1 Zudomon and 3 Werewolverumon. How did Zudomon perform? Was 1 the right number? Would you cut him down to 0, up to 2? What are your thoughts on him?
So originally he was supposed to be at 2 in my deck,
Yeah.
but I didn't get the second one in time.
Okay.
1 ran perfectly actually.
Yeah.
There was times where my hand was just dead in a sense, where all I
Hmm.
had was big numbers,
Yeah.
so I literally wouldn't have an issue with giving my opponent that much memory.
Hmm.
Sometimes in the game I feel people are scared to give their opponent memory, but
Yeah.
this deck comes back. So
Yeah,
I'm not.
and definitely because like it's definitely that kind of the original mentality is give my opponent as little memory possible and I just out tempo them. But you can kind of recognize when your opponent is their hand is probably similarly dead as yours, and
Mhm.
you can give them a little bit of memory because they can't gas out with as much as you give them most of the time. So yeah, just drawing 2 cards in general is always really good, and then you can just kind of turbo into your Omnimon from him because he is a level 5. So you got 2 energy for Plesiomon and then Omnimon. Boom, easy.
Yeah, super good. So yeah,
And
you
and
perform.
then so if you did have another Zudomon, what would you take out for him?
Well, we can talk about it later. I have 2 techs in the deck.
Okay,
Those were
okay,
supposed to be the 2 cards I was missing.
okay, cool. All right, so real quick, and then Wergurumon putting in work a lot because being able to just potentially have 2, a dual attack, security attack +1 with either a Metal Garurumon with a Garurumon underneath it or just Omnimon in general is easy gas too.
Yeah, this is my preferred 5 drop of the deck.
Hmm.
I think I would probably want to put this at 4, but 3 is the right number in a
Hmm.
sense. But
Hmm.
this card is really good. Security +1 is the best part of this deck.
Hmm.
This guy is my favorite level 5 for sure.
Yeah, he's awesome. We already
Yeah.
talked about Metal Garurumon. Do you think 2 was right for him, or would you bump
So
up to 3?
that's the other card that was supposed to be 3, but I didn't get in time. But 2 was perfect. I saw
Hmm.
him every game as well, so it must have been good somehow.
Yeah.
But this guy is the main boss to me in the deck. I know
Hmm.
Omnimon is the boss, but
Yeah, he's your
CEO,
backup plan, but yeah, if you he's definitely a Digimon that you can rely on being a lot of pressure and a lot of value, and just being able to have a big swing and play it like free playing Digimon in this game is very valuable. Being able to get that extra body is way more important than a game like Dragon Ball because anything can threaten security because it doesn't matter. And unlike Dragon Ball, where you kind of have to get something up to 10 or 15k to really start to pressure your opponent. But yeah, free bodies mean a lot in this game.
so yeah, like the preferred combo with Metal Garurumon is Metal Garurumon, the Were Garurumon +1 security under that,
Hmm.
then the Garurumon unsuspend one under that one,
Hmm.
and then the Gabumon. That
Yeah.
one's probably the best one because you will swing with the Garurumon, have security +1,
Hmm.
bring out the regular Garurumon, unsuspend him.
Hmm.
You're getting a second swing, and on that second swing, you're getting another +1
Yeah.
security attack, and then you're bringing out Gabumon to draw one.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
So
4 damage, and then you still have 3 bodies on the board, which means you can easily threaten that 2 more damage for the game on the spot.
Yeah, and then if you go to Omnimon and you swing with Omnimon, you're adding back this Metal Garurumon back to your hand.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
keep it going.
All right, and then I guess we'll talk about your two techs. So we've got one Metal Sea Dramon and two Volcanic Dramon. Thoughts? I'm guessing like these were kind of just last minute ads because you didn't get the cards you wanted. But how did they actually perform for you?
So the Volcanic Dramon, the two are basically for the Zudo and for the Metal Garurumon.
Yeah.
I literally put it in because I was thinking there was going to be a lot of Rookie Rush this weekend.
Yeah.
I only played one, and it did come in clutch. Another reason I decided to put this in is just in case they're in my security. You know, it's a big 10K body, so it can clear out your opponent's swingers. He was really good, and when you slap him on there, he's automatically an Omnimon target. So
yeah, and
guy,
about a third of your deck has 10K or more power in security, which is insane.
Yeah, the Metal Seedramon came in really clutch. I'm pretty sure you probably experienced this too.
Yes, for sure.
There was a game where literally I had three security left, and my opponent had 5 swings going on to their turn. And I'm just sometimes like you got to just think about it, like how many attacks can they get their following turn? Summoning sickness is a thing in this game.
Yeah.
So you have to like see that in the future. So I just hard summoned him, gave him 10, returned 2 of his guys back to his hand, and he only had 3 swings, so that basically just threw it into my favor, and I got the game off that.
Yeah, for sure. Because like paying 11 for one guy seems really like it seems like kind of scary to give your opponent all that memory, but you kind of have to realize the pace of stuff. It's really hard to get additional swings in this game unexpectedly. So it's easy to kind of present game on board a lot of ways, and then kind of make it so your opponent has to answer it. And if you kind of know what your potential opponent's answers are, you can kind of just unlike Dragon Ball, where you don't know if your opponent has like negates in their hand or how many super combos they have. You can pretty much say, all right, you've got to play like probably like legitimately Puppetmon or something like that. Otherwise, I have game on board and I just win. And if they do, they have to pay 11 energy for that. So you go out even anyways. So
yeah, so these two, the Volcanic and the Metal Seedramon, basically both the same thing. Like Volcanic can be useful as well against other decks. Like if they want to like bring out a bunch of weenies too, and then blow them up too. So he's versatile too in any matchup.
Yeah, and the kind of cool thing about Volcanic Dramon too is that you can still evolve Omni on top of him, in case that ever I'm not sure if it came up for you at all, but just being able to say that he's not like completely dead after playing him is nice too, to have that kind of out. And the thing that I really like to do is that I did this against Rookie Rush myself, is that I Digivolved Omnimon on top of Metal Seedramon. I swung with Omni, put Metal Seedramon back in my hand, and I just hard cast it again. And they just couldn't, being able to play 2 Seedramons back to back, they just couldn't get enough bodies on board to win the game. So
yeah, they're both really good cards, both basically the same thing.
And especially in a game where there's quote unquote summoning sickness when you play cards, just returning cards back to your opponent's hand is way more powerful than a game like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I like the Metal Seedramon's second ability where he can't be blocked, or he can't be he just can't be blocked. Yeah.
Yeah, if they just try to like hard cast a Grizzlymon to set up their defenses, it doesn't matter. So
yeah, it's pretty good.
Cool. And then lastly, Hammer Spark, because Hammer Spark's really good, and it's like the Senzu Bean of this game in like a lot of ways.
Yeah, I've said that multiple times.
Yeah.
This card can, like, the way I like to use a card is when I want to choke my opponent at the end of my turn. I don't like using it to like start. Sometimes there are scenarios where I want to use it on the start of my turn to make a play. But most of the time, I found myself using this at the later part of my turn when I'm like at 0. I would put myself to 1 and then play like a little rookie to put my opponent at 1. Because 2 memory sometimes is a lot for your opponent.
Yeah, for sure. And just being able to like you go minus on card advantage by playing it, but you gain a lot of bonuses, and it's really easy for you to kind of go up your chains, and like Upamon being able to draw 1 card or 2, Gabumon being able to draw a card or 2. Both these are just really good effects, or like even like Zudomon being able to draw a card or act like literally 2 cards can just really help you get like all of the kind of cards you need in your hand, find your consistent pieces, and then you can kind of go greedy with these memory +1s.
Yeah, most of the time I found myself holding on to these. I wouldn't just use it early on in my turn 1 or 2, nothing like that. I would just keep it in my hand. I'm like, something like later is going to happen in the game where I need an explosive play. this extra 2 hammer sparks in my hand is gonna be detrimental to my opponent. So
Yeah, or
I didn't
if you like hard cast a Zudamon last turn and you've got an Omnimon in hand, they can put you like to 1 energy or 1 memory. So you can just say, okay, cool, Hammer Spark, please Zudamon to 2, and then Omnimon for 6. Like being able just to guarantee you can do your chains on your turn is great.
exactly. So if I recommend something to blue players out there, just if you see this in hand, don't just play it just because you want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on to it. It might open up opportunities later on in the game for sure.
Definitely. Well, cool. So that's the deck. Real quick, do you want to go over your matchups before we head out?
Yeah, let me pull it up, but I'm pretty sure my round one was a blue mirror match.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that made me comfortable about this tournament was that 5 out of my 8 games were mirror matches.
Sure.
So I knew what the cards do and what
Mm-hmm.
basically blue wants to kind of do.
Yeah.
The scarier matches for me were the decks that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
played
maybe a better question is what would you say was your easiest match that you played, and what was your hardest match that you played during the tournament?
Okay, so the easiest match I had, believe it or not, was against Purple.
All right, cool. I thought you were gonna say me. I was gonna get mad. So
No. That was actually the toughest matchup I had all day.
okay.
So yeah, Purple was semi easy to me. I 2-0'd him.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I slapped Omnimon on board as fast as possible, and he could not get rid of him for some reason.
Yeah, that's my experience too. Purple has a hard time against this deck because you just gain so much value and they can't really keep up. So
Yeah, so once you slap the Omnimon, you're set.
Uh-huh.
My hardest matchup was your game. I knew what you were trying to do. It's just I guess game one when I like the 2 Omnis that had hurt. That literally
yeah.
destroyed
I had 2 Omnis in my security, so like I cheesed it for sure.
Yeah, that destroyed my confidence, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, this is it. I'm gonna lose the Eggman like I do in DBS.
Yeah, well, I mean, I already had that like emotional advantage too. So, but no, you were able to keep your head for sure, and it was a really great game. And it is. We do have. I did upload that to my channel if anyone wants to watch it. I think we were like round 4 or 5, if I remember right.
I believe it was 5.
Yeah.
I will say that my finals matchup against Red was probably my scariest one. The only reason why it was scary to me is because I don't really know my card pool.
Yeah.
And it was Red, so I didn't know really what was about to happen. But the match went in my favor. I 2-0'd him. I don't know if he bricked or my deck was just better, but I heard Red kind of like beat Blue. So I got scared, but yeah, we pulled it off 2-0. That one was scary.
Yeah, definitely. Well, cool. Well, I'm really glad for your performance, and you got a super slick set of sleeves and a deck box coming your way for your hard work, as well as a playset of all the promos from this set 0 for promos and everything. But yeah, I'm happy you did so well. And any shout outs or anything before we head out?
So shout out to your channel for allowing me to talk about my deck and showcasing. Shout out to you also because of that amazing match you gave me.
Yes.
Shout out to my friends here in Houston, Team Meta Club. You know, even though they don't play this game, gotta shout them out. Shout out to Top Cuts for an amazing event. 248 players. That's a lot of players. A lot of rounds.
On a webcam on a game that just came out, like insane, right?
Shout out to my opponents too. They were all friendly, all nice. Everything went smoothly with them. No issues. Yeah, it's pretty good. Shout out to the community. Hopefully we can make this game grow. Not only like just show Japan that we really want this game, and hopefully they allow us to compete and get a regionals and maybe a national soon.
Yeah. So hopefully all these, having to like double their amount of tournaments for a pre-release kind of release is kind of hopefully good, and the fact that it's like sold out in North America more or less is hopefully a good sign. If that's not enough, what is? Like
you think about it, that Saturday was almost 450 players combined with Core TCG.
Well, Core had an event, but also Carta Magica also had an event, so I think we had over 500 people playing in North America that week, that day.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. That's that's commitment.
Yeah, for once again a set that hasn't actually released, right? Like that's just crazy.
Sure, and then all their product is sold out everywhere.
Definitely.
All right.
Well, cool. Thank you very much, Claudio. Really enjoyed talking to you, and I'm once again glad you were able to do so well for this, especially for your first like actual day of playing this deck, which is really cool. And I look forward to interviewing you in the future on your future placements as well.
Thank you, appreciate it, and thank you for this.
Yep. and we'll see you guys next time.